Hi there, I'm Mick from the National Motor Museum. We're here in the Adelaide Hills, township of Birdwood, which is where the National Motor Museum is. And this is the exhibition Holden Heroes that I'm standing in front of, or inside of. The exhibition is laid out basically in two sides. So on my right, there are a series of Holden's most significant production vehicles over the years. So starting down with the gold two-tone, down the end, that is the 1 millionth Holden. And we go through, missing a couple of the milestones. We've got the 2, 4, 6 and 7 millionth, as well as the very last Holden off the production line, which is that VF Series 2 Redline SSV. And then we move into this section, which has some of their concepts and prototypes. This that I'm standing right in front of is a prototype for the Monaro Cabriolet version, also to be named Marilyn. Pretty name for a pretty car. Sadly never made it into production because they didn't think they could make it financially viable, but they did produce the Matilda concept, which is directly opposite it, that made it to market as the very successful later series of Monaro. Next to it, it's two very attractive brothers or sisters, siblings, so Hurricane and GTRX. Hurricane is the very first concept vehicle produced by Holden. Featured some really advanced technology for the time, including reversing camera, which we actually used to park the car into the exhibition, so I can guarantee that it works. It also had a type of GPS system, and GTRX very, very nearly made it into production, but it was basically meant to be the sportier version of the Tirana, and it's a very, very pretty vehicle, very late 1960s, early 1970s. Some more concepts on the other side, so we've got another Tirana, TT36 Tirana, in the lovely hot pink colour, or magenta, or whatever it is. It's a pretty colour. The HRT 427, which is a basically up-spec'd Monaro, which never got sold in the quantities that they hoped. I think they only produced 2 in the end. SSX, which is sort of a hatchback Commodore-style car based on the VX. Then there's Utester, which was a Ute-type prototype that was latching on to that early 2000s thirst for utes and sport utes. Very pretty Mambo Sandman. Sadly didn't make it into production, but that was meant to be a later series of Sandman with a surfboard on top there and some pretty interesting graphics from the artists at Mambo. And then the very last concept produced by Holden is just there. It's the Coupe 60, which some thought could become the last series of Monaro. I think it's a very pretty vehicle. And then obviously right here, this is probably the most famous one of them all. This is Effigy. So it's, as you can tell from the front grille, a bit of a tribute to the FJ. Loosely based off an existing custom vehicle called Cadzilla, with 2 Zs, because it's actually the vehicle owned by the lead singer of ZZ Top. But it was meant to showcase what Australian aftermarket parts could produce and how they could result in a pretty amazing car. So this is a very, very pretty vehicle, and was basically won American concept car of the year in 2007, and it's been around the traps. Everyone's seen it, but no one's ever seen it in all its glory amongst all its other concept vehicle and production milestone siblings. So here it is, Holden Heroes. It's got probably the best collection of Holdens anywhere in the world. They're all on public display. They're all at the National Motor Museum, and we hope to see you here to have a look at them.
Thank you very much, Mick. And by the way, if you're coming up here to see this fabulous collection of Holdens, you can also take advantage and see everything else in the museum.
Oh, yeah.
And so just remind the viewers, Mick, if you wouldn't mind, how many other vehicles, we'll go and have a look at those later, but in the main hall there's some all classic Australian production cars, Valiants and Chargers and E30, you've got an E36 I think there as well.
38.
38, sorry.
Yeah, raced by Gio Hagen at Bathurst. We've got about 350 vehicles on display. The oldest is the Shearer steam carriage, which is one of the very oldest vehicles in Australia. Possibly the first, probably the second built in the country. And the most recent is probably that Holden up there, which was pulled off the production. Oh, sorry, no, it's definitely the VF, the very last Holden. So yeah, 350 vehicles, a lot of motorcycles too, but spanning all types. There's something here for
Thank you very much, Mick. Get up to Birdwood, see it. National Motor Museum. Thank you.